Here we are, dirt floor motors, and not much motor work other than I got another tiller running, but it's not working right because I think it's got something, probably a mouse nest up in the governor or something. Won't let it run when I throw it in the till. But anyway, here's another raised bed that we're working on and filling it up with old weeds and stuff. Got rotten wood in the bottom, but all this weeds here that's over in my hops yard is going to go in these others. My daughter and I brought those back from the barn, and they're going to be in the process of getting turned into a raised bed. And the hops are in the kind of a rebuild mode this year. You got to where nobody would wanted them, and so priorities, I worked on other stuff. But lots of weeds here, but some of it's not weeds. And you can see cabbage growing here. Starting to get some heads. This is a fast maturing cabbage. It's supposed to be done probably this month. But all these things you think are weeds growing in there with the lettuce, that's lamb's quarters. And my great-grandmother used to use them as weeds. That's not as weeds, as greens. And it really is better than spinach. I just soon have that as spinach. So we got beets below there and collards, and I got kale there that I'm going to in a few minutes start pulling leaves off of that to dehydrate. And let's see, over here we've got hickory king corn, and it's full of weeds, but again, some of them aren't weeds. But I'm trying to eradicate those weeds before I till it, so it's not a problem yet. And what I'm really waiting on is I've got these volunteer tomato plants. Where is it? Right there. That come up in there, and I'm going to take them out to the west garden and plant them, because you get different varieties when you do stuff like that. And let me zoom in here, and those are volunteer yellow squash that came up from last year, so I just let them go. And I haven't planted any summer squash yet because they just come back by themselves. These are what we call October beans, but they're cranberry beans in the store. These are green beans, and below that's a row of peppers. Got more beans coming up in between, and a row of tomato plants that my daughter and I set out, and they're coming along. Down below there I've got, to the right is sweet potatoes, and the where the ground cover is, that's going to be winter squash. More beans are going to go in that empty place. And we've got cucumbers over here that hopefully will go up on these supports. Some sunflowers. Since I live in Virginia, cannabis is legal, so we can have 4 plants. And I never smoked any of it, but if it's legal and I got it, I'm going to grow it just to see what happens. And from a previous video where I rescued the grapevine, I've got it down here and it's growing. More tomatoes, just started yesterday. Butternut squash in between there. That's a little patch of sweet corn. And let's see here. We have got the west garden. And I got some watermelon coming up there. We went to a party and they had watermelon, so naturally I saved a seed, and I'm going to put it in here with my other melons. I've got watermelons here and cantaloupe there, and potatoes are growing over here. I'm just shaking the camera everywhere. potatoes are coming along. Got okra and some different stuff in there. And onions that I started from seed. And 2 rows of beets and more peppers. And I got another row up there I got to get the weeds out of so I can plant fall crop in. And over here I've got ground dug up where I'm going to put my tomatoes that came up over in the corn and just see what I get. But been busy, so I hadn't really worked on the cars. I just doing a maximum effort on food production here, and rescued some mint where I dug up for the melons over there. I got it growing there, and just different stuff stuck everywhere. Carrots, I don't get a whole lot out of there, but I'm just seeing what happens. Here's the first raised bed. I've got sweet potatoes in there, and I put wood ash on it, which is really potash, and they like potash, so they're starting to grow. And I got marigolds stuck around it, just different stuff like that. So that's what I've been working on. No cars, maybe next year or later on. I really need to get the Model A truck going because I need to haul some stuff on it if I can get it running right. But that's just a report of what's going on here.